From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2098, these are the Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, January 17th, 2018. The ARRL is facing some major public challenges from the U.S. amateur community regarding its actions, bylaws, and policies.
A group known as My ARRL Voice is advocating change in the league's lobbying efforts, governance procedures, and code of conduct through a steering committee comprising some of the league's own past vice directors, life members, and Maxim Society members. The group's website urges amateurs to press the league to take action at its January 19th board meeting to ensure more transparency. ARRL leadership has also been embattled in an escalating war of words with a vocal coalition in California over the league's code of conduct. The Northern California Contest Club, an ARRL affiliate, claimed the code stifled communications in league matters and prompted the controversial public censure of a division director in November. The league will not publicly discuss the specifics of the censure. However, its leadership continues to stand by the code as well as its more recent official actions. On January 6th, ARRL Hudson Division Director Mike Lysenko, N2YBB, addressed those issues in very general terms when he gave a keynote speech at Ham Radio University on Long Island, New York. Calling the censure a personnel matter not open to the public by the league, he nonetheless reaffirmed both the need for the code and the content of the code and supported the league's actions. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
With the start of the new year, two amateur radio organizations in Canada are cooperating more closely with one another on amateur education and a QSL bureau.
As of January 1, Radio Amateurs of Canada and RAQI in Quebec have agreed to share resources for bureaus. The RAC's outgoing QSL bureau is to become Canada's sole outgoing bureau for QSL cards. RAQI's outgoing bureau will now serve as a branch of the larger RAC bureau. The organizations said the move makes particularly good sense with fewer QSL cards being sent and with postal rates rising. RAC has also agreed to promote RAQI's online amateur radio course to those outside the province of Quebec. According to the RAC, this will provide an alternate form of instruction available to Canadians who are unable to receive instruction at their own local ham radio clubs. A portion of the registration fees paid by registrants outside Quebec will be given to the RAC. This agreement was worked out last year between the two organizations. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jerry Goodrich, KF5KRN.
Who doesn't love a good film in which amateur radio has a starring role?
Take a stranded Russian cosmonaut in a space station and add a Cuban amateur radio operator into the mix, and you've got a winning combination for a feature film. That's what the Cuban Amateur Radio Federation, the FRC, has to say about Sergio and Sergey. The film, directed by Ernesto Duranes, has been voted the most popular by moviegoers in Cuba. The fictional account of the men's friendship that develops while the cosmonaut is stranded during the Soviet collapse in 1991 is loosely based on actual contacts between amateur radio operators in Cuba and the Mir space station. The U.S.-Cuba collaboration, which also features Ron Perlman as an American journalist, was recently screened at the 39th International Festival of New Latin American Cinema in Havana. It made its premiere in September at the Toronto Film Festival. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Kevin Trotman, N5PRE.
For the rest of this week's Amateur Radio News, please listen to the full Amateur Radio Newsline report online on a repeater near you or on shortwave radio station WTWW at 9930 and 5085 kilohertz. And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for 4 decades and counting at www.arnewsline.org. With Paul Brown, WD9GCO, Jerry Goodrich, KF5KRN, Kevin Trotman, N5PRE, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe. I'm Don Welbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.